Like I like feet.
That's a kink.
That's a proclivity.
Okay.
We're getting into the weeds of definitions.
$10.
Now.
The bigger the word you use to describe it, the less horny it is.
That's facts. I like that. Yeah, I don't have kinks. I got proclivities, you dumb motherfucker. You don't even know what that word is. End of discussion. That's fire. I'm calling my shit proclivities from now on.
Yeah.
Cop out.
Can you call cheating a proclivity?
Oh yeah, it's
Baby.
Yeah.
This is a proclivity.
It's a proclivity of mine. What are you upset about?
special guest. It's Andrew Schulz, comedian.
Hello, guys.
Comedian Andrew Schulz, podcast star Andrew Schulz. What's the main thing? What's your title?
I don't know. Comedian. I go by comedian.
Comedian Andrew Schulz.
It's still weird. I guess it's still weird to be called a podcaster because I think comics, we just started podcasting because we saw Joe Rogan have so much success with it. And we're like, okay, this is the way that we get people to come out to our shows. And now probably more people watch the pod. I don't know.
Is there a podcast bubble, do you think?
Shit,
is podcast
podcasting's done.
What's next?
Well, I think comics, at least with comics, I think podcasting's done. Podcasting is popular now. Like every one of my friends that has a job thinks their job needs a podcast. So like my friend will be like a realtor and he's like, I think I need to do a real estate podcast. And it was like, no, you don't at all. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that like with stand up, we thought podcasts were the way, and now you're seeing people blow up from just posting the clips.
Yeah.
And comics, most of us are inherently lazy, so it's way harder to get all these fucking cameras together and do all this than just go to the comedy club, film your shit, and if you have a cool moment or a cool joke, you get to post it and blow up.
Yeah, you know what the next thing is fake podcast clips.
Oh, I saw that with Rogan.
We can get into that, but there was another lady, I think she has an OnlyFans, I forget her name.
Yeah.
But she had a microphone set up in front of her, and she was saying like, yeah, if I'm dating a guy, he's going to nut 7 times a day. But when he wakes up, I'm going to give him that nut.
Yeah.
On his lunch break, I'll show up, he's going to nut.
That wasn't real?
I get home from work. No, it was just...
I sent that to my wife. I know that lady you're talking about.
Yeah,
She's a brunette.
Yeah,
She looks kind of like Persian or something.
Yeah, it was just a camera with a microphone like this one, but it's not a clip from any podcast.
But there was someone she was talking to.
No, she just videotaped herself like she was on a podcast and put the clip out just to promote herself.
That's genius.
It actually is.
What is she trying to get besides nut?
I think OnlyFans. I think she's trying to get subscribers.
How long do you think that OnlyFans thing is going to last?
I think that's the next thing to pop.
That's a bubble.
Yeah, the OnlyFans bubble is done.
Why you say that?
Because, I don't know. I just like...
That's the oldest industry in the world.
Yeah, but it's like the internet disrupts and eventually just removes the...
Middleman.
Yeah, the middleman. And it's for free. So what they're really paying for on OnlyFans is like the ability to talk to them.
Yeah.
And that's cap. They just have some people at the agency that pretend to be them and talk to them.
Well, I've never been on OnlyFans.
All right.
But
I
make
been
fun
on
of
Reddit.
Pornhub is my go-to.
Reddit got all the nudes. Sorry to throw it out there, but Reddit got all the nudes that are on the OnlyFans.
See, I ain't been on Reddit either. I got my little section of Pornhub that I'm loyal to that.
Okay.
But like I ain't never.
Wait, what do you like on Pornhub?
I go with the mature. Yeah.
Wait, you like older women?
Yeah.
White or black?
It don't matter.
Really?
Yeah, it don't matter.
That means white.
Yeah. No. It don't, I have no standards. Is the problem. I don't got no. That's the problem. Yeah, I split my
Black guys got so much pressure to jerk off to black porn.
That's
like you a sellout. Like you a sellout if you want to jerk off to a white girl. But it's so true. Man. Like you got it. Like right here, you're like, it doesn't matter because you know if you're like, nah, I jerk off to white bitches.
No, it's both. I absolutely could rub one out to a white woman, but I find black women sexy as well. But
the fact that you even gotta say that,
there's pressure.
I don't have to say I find white women hot because it's known.
It's actually, you get a little credibility if you beat off to black women.
For sure. If I'm like, yo, I'm only into black porn.
Okay. You're like, all right, then. Okay, you're one of us.
I like Rachel Dolezal. That's my style.
Which,
white women who are pretending to be black. That's my kink.
With little perms.
Crazy women.
Bro, it's been a minute since I jerked off to porn, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I got a homie who
that's kind of a sick flex.
Yeah, I'm on so much like hair pills. My sex drive is like barely enough to keep my wife happy. Like
you got a great set of hair right now.
Oh yeah, I've been on it for 15 years.
Yeah, the
Damn.
Propecia.
Yeah, Propecia. Yeah.
You said not me.
Or Hims or Keeps or whoever.
Hims.
Whoever
Yeah.
parents,
Yeah.
I got a homie who's like banging his porn is the devil drum hard, but he's like a regular cat, like, but like out of nowhere he's just like porn is evil, and I'm just like, my nigga.
What did you watch that you liked?
Or I just feel like you got caught. Like,
Nah,
Yeah.
bro, that's you saw something, bro. I saw something. What is it? I can't even say who sent it to me. I'll tell you guys afterwards. But somebody sent me this clip, and he's like, bro, LA's burning, LA's falling apart. Look at LA, all the crime and everything. Look, if you zoom in close, you can see that this guy's lighting the building on fire. And I press play on the video, and there's a little bit of fire, and then immediately it's a guy spread eagle, and a girl's just punching his balls, just beating his fucking nutsack, right? And like, it was that moment where I was like, thank God I got married before I found out I liked that. Do you know what I mean? Because like, we don't know that we don't like. Yeah, like I feel like I tried all the shit that I wanted to try, and I feel good about it. And I'm glad that something didn't happen.
Right.
Like, I had a girl try to put a finger in my ass, and I kind of wanted her to do it, but I didn't want to enjoy it and then need that. So I stopped myself.
Not even once.
It's not gay if she
like
does
for,
it, man.
It's like
It
crack.
ain't gay if she does, but then I gotta ask my wife, and then like if my wife's in a bad mood,
Yeah.
like
That, I mean, that's a real conversation you got to have with your significant other.
Bro,
As far as like,
bro,
yo,
can I tell you something, bro?
I got a kink. And,
Dude,
and
that's
if you
the
don't
thing.
fulfill it.
Also, it's not everything's kink. All right, this is good. This is good. We're getting into this. This is okay. Not everything. Okay, first of all, about the ass shit is like, I had a girl eat my ass once, and I didn't know that I fucking loved it, and I loved it. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
And she came back, and I washed my ass for her. I went to the bathroom. I took a rag. I washed. I like prepared it, and she didn't eat.
Yeah.
And I was like tooting it up and everything, and I was like giving all the signs that I want that to happen, and she didn't eat. And I was like, I should have never found out I enjoyed this. Like, I felt like how a girl feels when she puts like matching underwear on and the guy doesn't want to go back home or whatever. Like, I put this effort in and then got nothing out of it.
My man said a long time ago, he said, you got to be careful what you introduce your mind to.
So that's the thing.
Ain't no going back.
Exactly. So I don't want to know. But as far as the kink shit, I think that there's some things that are labeled kink that aren't kink.
Such as?
Like, I like feet.
That's a kink.
That's a proclivity.
Okay.
We're getting into the weeds of definitions.
$10.
now.
All right,
The bigger the word you use to describe it, the less horny it is.
That's facts. I like that. Yeah, I don't have kinks. I got proclivities,
Yeah.
you dumb motherfucker. You don't even know what that word is. End of discussion. That's fire. I'm calling my shit proclivities from now on.
Yeah.
Cop out.
Can you call cheating a proclivity? Like,
Oh yeah. It's,
Baby.
Yeah.
This is a proclivity.
it's a proclivity of mine. What are you upset about? Okay, so, all right, the feet thing. I don't need to fuck them or anything like that. I haven't tried, but I don't want to know that is what it's all about. And just mad at my wife for wearing sandals all the time. Why are you wearing sandals? So you fucking up.
So feet give you a little.
I need feet to be good. They need to be good.
You like boomerang. You seen boomerang?
100%. I wonder if that put in my mind as a young kid.
It might have.
it's like a dirty foot is a turn off. Like clean foot might not be a turn on.
When you say dirty,
It ain't even about clean or dirty because I could clean it.
well kept.
It's groomed, built right.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
Oh, you talking about actual
The structure.
gifts from nature.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Now,
So,
that's
hold
funny
on.
you said nature. Keep going, because now we on it.
I'm talking about toes being longer. Is that what you're saying?
You can't have a second toe longer. There has to be a descending order.
I think majority of people have the second toe longer. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
about
mine's
that.
mine's
That's
longer.
crazy. That's crazy.
They
You
call
would've
that.
said that.
They
That's
call that.
crazy.
Actually, this is
Think
another
so.
good example of like just using a big word to
Yeah,
cover
yeah.
something up.
It has to be.
They call that a aristocrat toe, which really
That's
means
some
if you
shit
want to
that
get into
inbred
it.
fucking
Yes.
royals
Yeah.
made
Yes.
up so they could feel bad about their monkey feet.
Exactly.
Nobody wants
Exactly.
that shit at all. I got my second toe longer on one of my feet.
Yeah, well, I think I do too.
I think
Actually,
it should be on both.
I think my
That's
left
why you
foot.
got a proclivity. You out here projecting.
That is. Now, but here's what I really think it is. This is not going to make sense, but it does. Okay?
Right.
If we believe in evolution. Do we all believe in evolution here?
Yeah, except for
most
Big
of us
T.
do, yeah.
That depends what you mean.
Okay.
And it's not like a real like. I'm fine with us not believing in evolution too. I just wanna
It
let you know,
depends
like,
what you mean. Like
That's a more fun argument, by the way. Yours is more fun. Like science is never fun. It will get to fun. But I agree with you. Fuck evolution.
If we
Even though I
evolve-
believe in it,
This
fuck
is
it.
this is a mischaracterization. But go on.
If we evolved from monkeys, how come there's still monkeys?
I believe that's
No,
Checkmate.
No, y'all are. Go on. Continue.
Nah, because I want to hear what you got to say.
No,
Hold on,
I
let
mean,
me
you-
say this one thing, and then we're
Yes.
coming back.
Yeah.
My point is this: I get shamed for liking feet, but some monkey millions of years ago had to like feet, and now we're not monkeys.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's actually an evolutionary reason for foot fetishes.
Talk that shit.
Yeah,
Talk that fucking shit, bro.
So this one scientist was doing a study. He was like, foot fetishes tend
You
to
look like that
increase.
politician in the wheelchair. What is it? Madison Cawthorn?
Oh, he does.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's a compliment.
actually,
He's a handsome guy.
It's the very
Top-
it's
top
a smooth
up,
cheeks.
yeah.
He just did some weird.
He's
stuff.
waist up, handsome. Yeah. He did wild gay shit, and then he was like, "It was just me and the boys." All right, anyway, go on.
What
go
his
on.
feet talking about?
Foot fetishes tend to increase after STI scares. We even tend to see more foot-related
Come on, bro. Why you putting that
pornography.
on me, man?
No.
What do you
Not
want? Come on, man.
individual-
I thought we were talking about biology and evolution.
No,
You're trying
no.
to put herpes on me, bro?
No, not on
Which
you.
is- I mean, it's evolution.
No, we even tend to see more foot-related pornography during syphilis or AIDS outbreaks throughout history. The most common hypothesis there is that feet are a safe, non-penetrative, non-contagious thing to sexualize, so our brains latch onto them.
That sounds like
So
they're
it's-
just completely speculating because who knows? Like when there was a syphilis outbreak in the 1800s, was there a dude keeping
Yeah,
track
Al
of,
Capone wasn't banging feet
of how
because
horny
he had
people were
some
for feet?
syphilis.
We don't
Yeah.
know.
That's
one thing
that's
I
what they
learned.
said.
I like
Never
that.
know
I
what
like
somebody's
reasoning.
fetish is.
That's the thing. I guess what I'm
Motherfuckers.
trying to say is like back in the day, we were all monkeys, hypothetically. Okay? And then one monkey was born with feet. Okay? And then someone like me was like, that's Victoria's Secret. Like that's the most fire shit.
That monkey can jump across all the branches. Look how
Boom.
good their feet are.
Boom.
I want my baby monkeys to be able to climb like that.
I'm hitting that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm hitting that. You guys stay with the forehand bitches. I'm hitting that.
Yeah.
Right? And then I hit that. And now we all walk upright and we enjoy lovely studios.
Yeah.
Like I'm being shamed for making life.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I did this.
You got
I did this.
you
bro,
got the
and I
monkey-
get no gratitude.
You got him out the trees.
Yeah. Look how your knuckles aren't fucked up
Well,
because you didn't use them to walk here because of me. You know what I mean?
Billy's might be fucked up.
No,
Right, though?
Billy's worked construction for many, many years.
All right, fair enough.
Billy's hard.
Okay, now can you give us your argument for why evolution is
No,
bullshit?
I mean, I definitely do believe God created the universe, but I mean, things do evolve.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, do I believe people evolved from? No.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I mean,
Stand your ground, bro.
evolution absolutely
your ground,
exists,
bro.
not to the extent.
Don't let
that
these
some
New York
people think it
liberal
does.
cucks tell you what to think, bro.
I promise I never will. You have
Stand your
my
fucking
word.
ground, dude.
What about Noah's Ark?
What about it?
Do you believe in it?
Yes.
There was a giant boat, and then
Absolutely.
And then
Great
Noah,
flood myth.
100%.
Noah's like two of everything.
Yes.
They got two of every
Come on,
animal.
bro. We all exaggerate stories. You go out with the homies. The girl was a 6. You say it's an 8.
yeah.
You don't think Noah?
Well,
like,
you know
this-
who was on that couch right before? He was George Santos. Maybe the
Wait,
greatest.
did you really have?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
greatest
2 hours ago.
exaggerator of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You like that guy?
My favorite politician.
He's hilarious. He's
He
very
was-
My
funny.
favorite politician is because they
I-
all lie. He just realized you don't got to lie about what you're gonna do for people. You got to lie about who you are. He just figured out that like there's more there's a greater currency in your struggle than there is people's struggle.
Yeah.
So
Some guy
he
wrote a
just
book about that a
manipulated
long time
politics.
ago.
That's it.
It's a good
Yeah,
calculation.
he's genius. The guy's a fucking genius.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't
he's
do that, but
he's shameless.
he's definitely figured out the code to getting people to know who you are.
Yeah, it's our fault. Like, why am I voting for you for what you went through? I should be voting for you for what I'm going through, and you should be fixing it. But now we're so like into this whole shit where it's like, oh well, how difficult was your life, and how many things did you have to go through? Oh well, you must be.
You know what I don't have
My
a problem with when politicians say, because he's a big guy that says this, we're spending all this money overseas. Why don't we reinvest some of that money and take care of things back home before we, go off and give billions and billions of dollars to countries that might not have our best interest at heart long term?
Yeah.
I agree with that. I would just like it if every now and again they said what they wanted to do back home with that money to improve things.
Yeah, you're asking too many questions.
That's my big thing with him.
You're asking too many questions.
I'm asking all the right questions.
Yeah.
That's my
They're
thing.
gonna take you out.
Yeah. Actually, last time you were here, you were on Pardon My Take, and
Yeah.
we talked a little bit about Elon, because Elon was in the process of buying Twitter.
And he did it.
He did it, and man, did he do it. I think he's lost like $20 billion on the deal so far, but he, I guess, could afford to lose $20 billion on it.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh every day though, because
Who, Elon?
he changes his mind all the time. And then what also makes me laugh is the people that get really upset about the minor changes that he's making to Twitter, and they complain about it on Twitter, and they say they're going to leave Twitter.
So leave.
But
yeah.
they're never going to leave. So he knows that he's got people hooked on this thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that he knows exactly what he wants to do with it long term.
Yeah.
He wants to take away badges, then reinstate the badges.
Yeah, what do you feel about? Because like as a comedian, is there utility in people knowing who you are? I think there is. And people,
Yeah, there is. I just don't use Twitter, so I don't give a fuck.
Well, I'm talking about social media in general.
Social media, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna tweet some shit and then like right now we don't have a font for sarcasm. We don't have a font for like I'm busting balls. We don't have a font for I'm just kidding. So you're gonna take everything I tweet at face value.
Right.
So it's not worth it for me to say the shit I want to say, because when I'm saying it and you see my face and you see how I'm delivering it and you see people laughing with it, then everything's fine.
Right.
But so it just doesn't make sense for me to use Twitter. I use it as news.
Right.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't.
I never understood why comedians would use it just to put jokes out there. It's like, why are you wasting your material?
Yeah, it was back in the day. There was a guy named he was the first dude. You have to understand, like, comedians are motivated by selling tickets to their shows. That's the only thing. Like, whatever we will do, whatever we'll sell tickets to the shows. So there was a guy, I'm forgetting his name, John. It's not Mulaney. It's another dude who got incredibly popular on Twitter.
Is it Rob Delaney?
Rob Delaney.
Yeah.
Yes. So Rob Delaney got so popular on Twitter, and then he started selling out shows.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of comics were like, oh shit, I got to tweet funny things as well, because maybe I could sell out shows like Rob Delaney. You have to understand, like, in the business before the internet, there was a few gatekeepers that basically just were like, hey, you're good enough for a special. You're good enough. And you just waited and hoped. And it was like, at this point, you're willing to try anything. So I think they saw that success and everybody jumped on. And it was also at a point where that was the only social media app. So like, you know, I was on these MTV shows back in the day, and like a show would come out and then you would see your Twitter numbers go up thousands.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen anymore. But it was a pretty cool thing.
Well, I think Instagram has replaced like the main.
For sure.
So, well, how do y'all navigate that as far as like producing content to keep your fan base happy and you relevant versus you overwatering the soil?
I don't like to do it.
Right.
Like, you know, I haven't put out anything new in a while because I'm working on new material.
Right.
So I just kind of like to hold everything back.
Right.
And then, like, you know, I'll put out some old stuff if it's relevant for whatever reason. And like, but yeah, when I'm in like writing mode, which I'm in right now, it's just, you know, how can I put everything towards a new hour and then go up there and then deconstruct it. And okay, I think I have 30 minutes. It's really 10 minutes. And then do everything in a different order and purposely try to fuck up every joke and see if I can like get myself out of this hole and open with different jokes. And, you know, I just try to find out like where the audience is, like what they're feeling emotionally, you know, like before Trump kind of came back and we get into the election cycle, nobody cared about anything. For about 2 years, nobody gave a fuck about anything. Yeah. And I think that's just a reflection of like Biden never really having an opinion on anything. You know, like Trump had an opinion on everything, and then that was the thing that defined your identity that week. Right. So if you're a lefty, you're like, fuck his opinion. If you're a righty, you're like, finally. Right. You know, and then Biden just doesn't say shit. Right. So there's nothing to push back against and kind of embolden your identity. Right. So for comedians like me, who I like antagonizing whatever the zeitgeist is, or the public sentiment is.
Love that word.
That's a tricky time.
Right.
You know, I like it when people are angry. I love this Bud Light shit.
Good for business. Yeah.
Yeah, this Bud Light shit is great. I'm like so excited that people just care about something so I can antagonize. Mm-hmm. Like the trans women in sports shit, I love. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? It's just anything that I can antagonize.
Sitting in your lair waiting for shit to pop off.
Oh, yeah, people to get mad.
I love it.
You're so mad right now. I love telling people that they're mad.
Yeah.
You got too mad about this. It's the best, because when you do that, they're like, they get madder about it.
And especially if you got a good argument for it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you got a fun one, bro. Like I just found a fun one for school shootings. And it's
shit.
not
Let's go.
not to say that we shouldn't get rid of school shooters, but every other country acts like they don't got their fucked up shit. So I found out that like in Germany, the Autobahn, right, that's their highway system that has
Right,
no
yeah.
speed limit at all. And every year there's like thousands of senseless deaths, way more than school
Is it
shootings in
really?
America every year. And every year they try to introduce legislation to put a speed limit on the Autobahn to stop the senseless deaths. And every year these Germans are like, you cannot take away my right
It's
to
exactly
drive as fast as I want on the highway and kill as many people as I senselessly want to on the highway. So for me, like I get that nugget. I'm like, ooh, there's a joke here. Like this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's what it means to be German. It's in our constitution.
Yeah.
We can crash our cars.
We can
all
crash
want.
our cars and people will die. And I bet you every country has their silly little freedom wrapped up in their identity that costs people their lives, but they refuse to relinquish it because of how important it is to who they are.
Oh yeah, like Ireland. We should close down some of these pubs. Everybody's drinking themselves to death. That's God wanted me to be drunk. I'm Irish.
Now the one tricky thing about that is you're drinking yourself to death.
True.
Whereas the car crashes and the school shootings, other people are getting killed.
Yeah.
That's the one little thing why the car crashes and the school shootings are unique. And I'm trying to think of what the other ones are.
Famines, potato famines in Ireland. Yeah. Every 100 years.
This is
It's
why
been
I
foretold.
absolutely love intellectual comedians, bro.
Yeah.
It's because y'all narrate society in a way that needs to be narrated, and you're like a reflection of society. You're telling on itself.
Yeah, it's
and
just
like
fun.
it's so needed, but like not everybody could do it, and that's why
Yeah.
like yourself and a couple others out there are really special at that shit.
Thank
Like,
you, man.
Very much needed.
Yeah, it's fun because like I know I'm a hypocrite and I know I'm an asshole. So that when people act hypocritically and they're assholes and pretend they're not, it drives me crazy because I know I am one.
Right.
So I'm looking at you going, you're like me.
Yeah.
So I have to do the thing to remind you that you're like me.
I like that. Bring it down.
Yeah.
Well, are you depressed? most
Bro,
most comedians I meet, like Neil Brennan's the homie.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah,
Neil.
and like,
Shout out
and like
Neil.
so me and him have conversations all the time about how like
Yeah.
comedians be depressed, and just like I think public intellects in general are depressed.
Yeah, I think that like there's a depression that comes with narcissism, right? Because it's like constant self-reflection,
Okay.
right? And I think that comedians oftentimes can be quite narcissistic.
Okay.
And if you're constantly thinking about how things relate to you and how things, reflect your being and who you are and what things are doing to you, it's very easy to get caught in negative thinking for
Right.
sure. I think don't get me wrong. I love attention. Obviously I do stand up, but like, I think I was very fortunate where like my dad was a very curious dude. So the way that I saw him interact in the world was like, he would always be asking people questions, like wanting to know things, you know what I mean? And, like even that school shooting thing, I was just having dinner with this German dude and I was like, what do you think about school shootings? And then he just offered up this thing. So it's like, I think my curiosity gets me out of my own head and thinking about me. I don't even really like talking about me. I never talked about myself in my stand-up because I was like, why? I don't deserve to yet. Like nobody knows who I am yet. Like now I think I'm at a point where I've maybe earned the right to like talk about the things I'm going through in my life. You know what I mean? Like, but before that, when I see comics that are going up for the first time, they're like, let me tell you how interesting my family is. And it's like, no one gives a fuck about your family. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what a wild thing to go walk in a room, nobody knows you, go, can everybody be quiet and let me tell you how awkward dinner is? That is like
That's
next
therapy.
level fucking narcissism.
Yeah, it's
right?
therapy. You're thinking that everybody in the audience, that they want to help you solve your problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
So that can be very depressing. And I think that, but I don't, there is this archetype where like a comedian has to be depressed and like the weird things start happening in comedy where like you need to talk about like if you're fucking molested or you know, like you just need to talk about all these fucking horrible things that happen to you. And it's like, you got to be funny and we'll listen to that shit. Just being molested isn't enough to be a comedian. Like you also have to be funny about the molestation and then we'll listen.
Yeah.
But we got this warped idea where like go through trauma, talk about it, and then it's fun.
Maybe depressing ain't the right. Maybe it's just pessimistic.
No, you're right about depressed.
Okay, cool.
You are right. I think Seinfeld said it best, or Chris Rock said it best when they were like, if ignorance is bliss, being a comedian is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
A hyper awareness.
Yeah.
Of kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for a while that comedians got labeled as being bitter too, and maybe some still are. But you mentioned earlier about how it was like you had to know somebody at Comedy Central or one of these networks if you wanted to be the next up and comer. There's a lot of waiting around. I think with social media and the internet making it a much wider net for comedians,
more equitable place.
Yeah, there's less competition. There's definitely competition.
Still bitter, bro.
Are they still bitter, or is it easier? Do you think to be friends with other comedians?
I think
nowadays,
I think it's easier to be friends with other comedians, especially ones that are starting to see the light and seeing that they can be rewarded for their comedy. Like they put it out there and then something goes viral, and like, what a great feeling, like having no traction ever. And then you put out a piece of your comedy and everybody goes, oh my God, this is so funny. It's like, what a dream that is for somebody. Right?
Are you rooting for other comedians?
Oh, but that's the thing. I like that, but I don't have that like scarcity mentality.
Got you.
So like literally everything I've done in comedy, I went on a podcast afterwards and I was like, you guys should all do this. Hey, YouTube is great. Put your specials on YouTube.
Right.
Instagram is awesome. This is why it's going to work. This is how you do it. Any comic that calls me and asks for help, I'm helping them through the whole fucking process. I want as many comics to win. But I also just don't have that mentality where like, I don't think people need to have only one comedian. Right. That doesn't mean I'm not competitive. Right. Like when I'm on the show, I want to be the funniest. Right. You know what I mean? And I want to be pushed. I want there to be people that are better than me so I could go, okay, I got to step it up. But I don't know. I like helping people, and it makes me happy to see people succeed. Yeah.
What about writing? Do you enjoy writing if it's going to be something where it's not you performing it, like writing for somebody else?
No.
You get no satisfaction out of
Zero.
that? Because you like hearing the audience respond to your joke.
Yeah, I do like. This is writing for me.
Just bullshitting, yeah.
This is writing.
You're just getting ideas. Yeah.
Yes.
Brainstorming.
Let's throw ideas out, chew on it. Like, I want to hear your thing about evolution. I'm like, ooh, maybe there's something funny there. And then where does my mind go take evolution? How do I feel about it? So like these types of environments are the best writing environments. And then you just take that little kernel of humor and then I go on stage and I just see where it goes. But it needs to start with something. Yeah. But in terms of like writing for a show, no. I like writing for my stuff with guys. Like when I did the Turn Your Phone videos, I don't know if you guys saw those like during the pandemic.
I think that was your takeoff.
Yeah, we had that was good shit.
Was fucking comedy.
That was good shit. And honestly, that's what happened when you have multiple brains, like really great, hilarious people that are just dedicating their whole week to 4 or 5 minutes of comedy. Right. Like we had no shows, couldn't do anything. We just sat in a room and just fucking wrote. We wrote. Part of it was boring as hell. We wrote an essay with no jokes and then punched up every line of it.
I would love to be in one of those rooms and see how the ego is, because I think like me and him, like he was writing a song yesterday, right? And I fancy myself a writer. I write a lot, and so we're going back and forth, and like he wants to go somewhere else with it, and I'm like, it's his thing, so I'm just like, okay, go there with it. Yeah. But like as a comedian, like, do you view it like this is my baby, or like I was taught young, you can accomplish anything as long as you don't care who gets the credit, and so just throw in and let's evolve this thing. But a lot of people are like, this is my baby, man.
So with us, like me and my guys, right? It's the best idea wins.
Gotcha.
So that's for the podcast. It's for if we were doing the Netflix special, Turn Your Phones. It's like best idea.
Love that.
What's most important to me, or even we're doing like some kind of promotional video, or we're just creating some kind of content we think is kind of funny. Best idea wins. So, because I just don't really have an ego about that shit. And also, like, you shouldn't. If you're the person singing the song, like, you're going to get the credit for this. You just got to make sure it's something that you can be proud of and stand behind. Yeah. So my feeling is like once we have the idea that we're doing, right? Like stand-up is different because stand-up I like to be my own. I like to talk out ideas, but I don't like to collaborate on the special. It has to like be from me. And I go, yo, I got this idea about the Autobahn.
Like
Let me riff.
Like a rapper with the bars.
Exactly.
Got to come from you.
It got to come from me, and it's got to be passionate. But if we're just creating anything or making any kind of business decision, there's no ego. The best idea wins. And the best idea can come from the lowest guy or the highest guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I think that creates the best product.
I that's what I'm saying.
But it's got to be something you believe in and can stand behind.
Yeah.
So we agree on what we want to do, and now how do we execute it?
I love that.
Yeah.
I got a question that you might not want to answer.
Go.
But I've always, as a comedian, like, I've been on Rogan. Yeah, I know him, kinda. You know, I think he's a cool cat. Do comedians look at Rogan like a comedian?
So 100% yes.
Okay.
But you have to understand, like, a lot of people found out about Rogan. This is what happens when you're podcasting. When you're someone who doesn't know comedy or you're not like a big comedy fan,
Right.
you know the most potent version of someone, and obviously, you know, he has the biggest media platform on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a crazy time in history where like one guy could garner that type of influence.
Yeah.
And but as like a comedy fan, like, just to put things in perspective, you know, Bobby Kelly, amazing comic. You know Bobby Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
So when he was on our pod, he was like, dude, I remember coming up in Boston and seeing Rogan and going, I want to be that guy. So that was the influence that he was having in that space, right? He just happens to be so famous at another thing
Right.
that some people only get that version
It
of him.
overshadows it too.
Think about it, of course.
Yeah, because like in the realm of comedians, I think he's an okay comedian, but like,
Right.
as a podcaster, he's one of the most influential podcasters of
Ever.
all time. So it's like hard to parse that apart as a consumer. I think that's what the internet has done more than anything, is it has allowed people to wear different hats.
Yeah.
But still, it's really hard to part that out as a consumer sometimes.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got to watch Joe do stand up. Like, I tell people you have to go watch Joe do stand up. Joe is underrated at stand up.
Oh, really?
I think what happens sometimes, you become so famous that people are looking for things to pull down.
Okay.
Right? And they can't say shit about the pod.
Yeah.
Because the pod is number one. So they just got to find something where they could pull you down. You got to watch Joe, and like, with everything to lose, with more to lose than most people in history have ever had, still doing the wildest shit.
Gotcha.
He's a comics
The
comic.
wildest shit.
Yeah. I remember he
Like,
he was the dude that called out Carlos Mencia, right?
I remember that. Yeah,
that was very fun. Who do we have on Part of My Take we were talking to? But was it shit? Was it Santino?
Was it Kreischer? Oh, it was Santino.
It might have been Kreischer, but yeah, where Mencia got up on stage and started doing other people's bits, and he'd been doing this for
No,
a
it was
long
Ari
time.
Shaffir.
Oh yeah, that's right, Ari
sorry,
Shaffir.
yeah.
Yeah, and so he was in the audience for that, and I think that just cemented Joe in the hearts of every comedian, just because Carlos Mencia got a fucking special. He got a series on
Joe
Comedy
got banned
Central
for that. Think
he
about that.
really?
He got banned from the store for that.
The Comedy Store?
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't for years later until he went back. A lot of people don't realize that. Like, he was the one that got in trouble for that because of how massive Carlos was.
Yeah,
And there was like an altercation at this place. So eventually he goes on and becomes Joe. But yeah, he's that fucking dude.
have you ever had your joke stolen by somebody?
So look, this is the tricky thing about stolen. And this is the beauty of the internet. You're competing with, I don't ever want to assume stolen. Back in the day, comics, because, you know, there's a lot of us are narcissists, are like, I'm the only person that could have ever connected, you know, this thing that happens in sex and what I did. Nobody else in history could have thought about this sexual thing that happened but me. And if they did, they must have stolen it from me. The internet has now exposed that you're a little hot take about Bud Light, or you're a hot take about this. A billion other people are also tweeting something, and 100,000 of them have the same idea.
Right.
So I think we're starting to realize that now. And I think that's why, if you can personalize your jokes, I know literally I said in the beginning, like, I'm not interesting, but there's a way to be personal within your jokes, even if you're talking about other things.
Right. Yeah.
You know who Bill Burr is, even if he's talking about fucking Monica Lewinsky or something. You know, you're getting this aura of him, right? So it's like, I think it's very hard now that we've seen so many people come up with similar ideas for me to go, oh, they got that from me. They must have seen me at the cellar working out. No, maybe they just connected to things. Like, ChatGPT is going to ruin it all. ChatGPT is going to show you how easy it is to just connect to things.
Can a robot be funny though?
Eventually, the robot will be able to replace the late night jokes.
Yeah.
Late night jokes are a math problem.
Yep.
And there's a lot of comedians that are math problem comics, right? And it's just like, it's not like an insult to them. It's just not my favorite
Explain what
thing.
math problem comic is.
Let me think of I have jokes that I'm sure are math problem. You just basically connecting two things that shouldn't be related and then putting them together,
Okay.
right? Let me think of a fucking joke in my.
He looked like the.
Here's the joke.
the
This is
wheelchair
fucked
guy.
up, but we're talking about the Autobahn thing, right? the punchline I was thinking for it was it was like these it was the German guy being like we can't do anything anyway, we can't even kill Jews, and then it's like we have to use the gas somehow.
Right.
So it's gas for what they did, this horrible atrocity to Jews, and then driving using gas on the subway. Now, that's just a connection of two things that shouldn't be related,
but
and
that's
they're related.
a witty double entendre that...
Look, there's a lot going on there. It's really funny, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, what a computer can do is make those connections and then just kind of like put them near each other. I'm imagining this is what it will be. Right. And then it's up to you to kind of blend it. Mm-hmm. So I think that will be the first thing. Late night comedy is just that. Like, what are these two connections about these things? And I think that will be eliminated pretty quickly. And I think comedy will probably get kind of meta. That's usually what happens with comedy. When you can say anything, it just gets weird. Right. You know, like when you can't say anything, you get comedy that's a little bit more thought-provoking and edgy. And when you can't say anything, you get comedy that's like really funny, but also odd. Like a Zach Galifianakis it's almost kind of making fun of comedy. Mm-hmm. You know, like comedy, as comedians, we make fun of institutions. Sometimes comedy becomes an institution, so you can make fun of comedy.
Like Tim Heidecker.
Name sounds familiar. Is there a writer or something?
He does like Tim and Eric, the Tim and Eric show.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was with Zach Galifianakis for a while too.
Gotcha.
Actually. I think it was like him, Eric Andre, Zach Galifianakis was involved.
Sure.
But yeah, ChatGPT, the podcast that they put out yesterday
with Joe and
it was Joe and the leader of what was
it?
It
was the
OpenAI
CEO who runs ChatGPT.
That was scary because it sounds just like him. Now, I don't think that curiosity is one thing that might not be able to be completely copied by a robot either. Like the way that Joe does his interviews, there's a reason why he's the best in the business. Yeah, is because he's so curious and he's got a great intuitive line of questioning that he can go down.
It's unbelievable curiosity matched with unbelievable retention. So that's the thing about Joe that I think he doesn't get enough credit for. Is like if you tell him something, that's locked in forever. Mm-hmm. So anything he reads, anything he watches, everything is just locked. So he can have somebody on talking about metaphysics and he'll remember the last guy he had on talking about metaphysics, and then he can hold a conversation with that guy. Yeah. Whereas if I had a guy on talking about metaphysics, I forgot about it 30 minutes after he left. Everything they said.
For sure.
That's so nuts just because like think about how people learn. Like Joe may have not been very good academically, but he can learn through conversation way better.
100%.
Like,
but see, that bothers me the most. I think one of the things that bothers me most is when smart people be like, "You do this shit all the time." Like, I'm a dumbass. Like you're not. That gives so much leeway to actual dumbasses to be like, "Yeah, we're all dumbasses." Like, no, fam, we're not. I hate that.
The
shit.
fake humility.
Yeah,
no, fake humility is annoying.
It's not even fake humility. It's like, or maybe it's unbeknownst to you, but it's like, dog. You're fucking brilliant.
I just know that I'm.
You're a little spectrum-y.
I'm. Yeah,
you're a little bit,
aren't we all?
Right?
That's why it's called a spectrum.
Wait, what is that?
That's why it's called a spectrum.
What do you
right?
mean?
Like it's a massive thing.
I think he's talking about.
We're like there's some people that have.
You just proved it.
Absolutely not. I think you just need to learn what a spectrum is.
There's people off the spectrum.
Yeah.
There are people that are off the spectrum.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Yeah,
it's not
probably
on
another.
It's actually
spectrum.
not a spectrum in terms of like you got it more or less. It's just different things that you have.
Yeah. So I mean,
I don't know enough about it, but that shit was
to Arian's point. It's like I feel like I've got a good width of knowledge, but it goes like this deep. But
but even
like I can talk to most people about something.
But that in itself isn't.
But do you really like trains?
No. I'm a plane
He
guy.
likes planes.
It's close enough.
Yeah,
He thinks he can fly a plane.
Could you land a plane?
You could.
Could you land a plane?
Yeah.
If the pilot passed out and nobody else could fly?
I think I could land a plane.
Yeah. See, that's not. You might be on this boat too.
Why do you think you can land a plane?
I think I could do most things, to be honest with you.
People do it. Guys land
people
planes.
do it. Yeah. I don't think it's like a crazy thing. Like
what?
I think I could land a plane
planes.
more than I could do like one of those knots that doesn't ever come undone. Like if somebody was like, "Hey, I need you to tie this rope together so it just doesn't get untied."
Yeah.
Boy Scout knot?
Yeah, like a Boy Scout knot without anybody teaching me, I couldn't do. But land a plane without anybody teaching me, I could.
You got that shit.
Because it's more you just like that.
And there's more pressure.
Also,
Yeah.
like air traffic control comes on, they tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lower your speed. Okay.
I've seen pilots; they're not physically impressive all the time.
Yeah.
Has there been
I don't think it's a physical feat.
No, that's what. That's why my dumb brain thinks I could do it. It's like look at this pussy. This
Go again.
this pussy lands a plane. Yeah, I can do that.
Can girls land planes?
What, man?
Yes.
Has there been examples?
Yes, they can land
Yeah, girls.
planes.
Oh, Amelia Earhart
No,
would
but in that
beg to
situation, because
differ.
everyone's like, guys think they can land planes.
Helen
Yeah.
Keller.
I mean, that would be wild.
no, Amelia Earhart.
What if
Amelia Earhart.
that is crazy? Like, what if for 9/11 they weren't even terrorists? It was just women driving, and then they felt so bad about it. They're like, no, it was the Taliban, bro. It was Al Qaeda or something like that. It definitely wasn't the first 2 female pilots ever that we hired at the company.
Hell no.
An 80-year-old woman took control of a plane and landed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's easy to do.
Yeah.
So they can. So
Yeah.
more women should think they can land
Give me
planes.
the knot.
I'll be honest. Yeah.
I'll take the
I
knot.
think women could drive, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
It's very brave.
No, my wife drives.
That's a bold.
I
really?
go
You let her-
passenger.
you
I
let
go
her- you
passenger.
let her drive?
I go passenger. I don't like driving. I like chilling. I like being on my phone.
I wish Tiger Woods would say that.
Same, bro.
This nigga will not get out of cars.
I feel like he's just trying to prove to us he's really Asian. Like, you know how like his whole career he's like, I'm a Pacific Islander, and none of us believe. We're like, nah, you black Tiger, you are black. He's like, all right, see, watch me try to get home. Watch me try to get home. Tell me I'm black. Watch me try to get home this afternoon. Tell me I'm black.
That's just fucking hilarious.
They should let him drive a golf cart. I want to see Tiger Woods in a golf cart.
I don't want to see him behind any wheels, man.
Yeah.
Every
out,
bad event that has ever happened to him has involved a car.
Yeah.
Every single one.
With the girl hitting him with the golf clubs, which
Everything.
is fucking funny.
Everything. Just stay out of whips, dog.
Yeah.
Get out of them.
I think that's a guy that he should have fucked earlier in his career, because when he was growing up, he was just like all focused on golf. His dad was like, golf all the time. This is the only thing that matters. He gets famous, and all of a sudden he can fuck pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
And he you know what? He just never should have gotten married.
Yeah, he didn't get out the system, man. You got to
Yeah.
get it out the system.
Yeah, if you grow up being like, okay,
Societal pressure,
you're
man.
never going to do it. Like, you're only focused on this one thing. That levee's going to break at some point. Let Tiger fuck again is what I'm saying.
I think he out
I don't
there
think he
now.
stopped, bro.
Yeah,
I think he's
out
getting
there.
that. Did you see the recent girl that he was dating, and then they broke up, and then she sued him for breaking up with him or whatever?
I was
Yeah.
so mad at that stuff because I was like, come on, we just got over all the Tiger news, and here you go
Yeah.
again. But she was tripping.
She was tripping. It was also fire how he broke up with her.
Oh, it was.
He said, "We're
like,
going on vacation," and then, psych.
Locked her out of the house.
Change the locks on the dog. That's like some.
That is legendary.
That's like some. Oh, you don't want to get out? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then. But that shows you Tiger's not like the square that he's portrayed to be. Like,
He's a savage.
yeah,
bro.
he got a little dog, a lot of dog.
The
in him.
text messages were something else. Yeah.
Now, what do you say in the text message? I didn't see
I
that.
don't think he had a game. I don't think he had mouthpiece or a game like that. But
Oh, he was firing off the texts. You can look him up. I think. Shit. I'm gonna look up his text right because I want to read these out loud. Actually, Billy,
Yeah, I got it.
ask a question.
Her name is Billy.
No,
Billy.
I'm asking
Oh, you're
Billy.
Billy. My
That's
bad.
Billy.
Sorry.
Billy, ask a question while I look these up.
Do you get annoyed when people ask you about Rogan all the time?
No. Honestly,
like-
not at all.
I just always see, like, I don't know, you guys all I'm a huge Rogan fan, so like when I'm doing show prep, I try to like make sure, like, okay, don't make it all Rogan questions
yeah,
like, they probably get so much, but
No, I mean, like, I'm very fortunate to have close proximity to, one of the most fascinating people in history. So I can imagine somebody is curious about that and they want to know those things.
yeah.
So yeah, he's a very interesting guy. Like, he's dedicated himself to like 3 things, and they were all the biggest. He's like, I think I'll act, and then it's the big show. The show is huge.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I think I'll be a UFC commentator, or 4 things, and then it's just the biggest sport in fight sports.
he has a big part in growing
Huge.
it too. Yeah.
Bro, think about it. When he's at an arena calling the game, he's the most famous person at the arena. He's more famous than the fighters that are headlining the card,
Easily,
because he's performing at the same arena without them,
Yeah.
right? Like, and then he does stand up, the highest level, and then he does podcasting at the highest level. It's like it's not what doesn't really happen that often.
Yeah.
I'm reading the text right now. They're actually not that bad. I want to treat you rough, throw you around, spank and slap you. You're my fucking whore. hold you down while I choke you. Then I'm gonna tell you to shut the fuck up while I slap your face.
What
and
you
pull
think
your
about
hair.
that choking shit? You like that?
I mean, I'm a choker.
You like the choker?
Well, if she's into it,
Wait,
I don't just be going around choking.
Strangler.
That choking shit is wild, bro. I like. Yeah. It's wild when like your girl's into it.
I've had, I've been fortunate enough to be okay in the lady department.
Yeah.
More often than not, women like being choked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it like a lot more women like being choked.
Yeah.
Than not.
They ask for it.
all anecdotal. Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely. Like and rough. They like. I think that's women like feeling like women and like they be in bed. They
Yeah.
like being dominated. Yeah.
Mm.
Which led me to explore I want to get dominated a couple times.
Oh, did you get dominated?
I have been dominated.
How?
But
But that's some fake humble shit.
Yeah, because dude, you're
like,
an all-pro
oh,
NFL running back. You're like,
yeah,
oh, you threw
can't
me down.
Dominate you.
Well, I
Like,
mean, no,
Good
she's
tackle.
Not fucking, You don't got me a headlock, bro. What
what did she do? Did she-
was it Sean Merriman that was-
It's like I'm gonna get you the deets, man. Calm down. I got you, dog. No, it's like a submissive thing. And so, I mean, this is pretty recent actually. I found out like there's a certain element of sexual attraction I get to being submissive to somebody.
Yeah.
And obviously it don't go past the bedroom, right? I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go make her a sandwich after we're done.
Yeah.
But it's like
That's fucked up.
Yeah, you tell her, King.
No, I mean
This shit stops at the bedroom door.
Listen, I'll be submissive to you for as long as you're sucking my dick.
that's facts though. And I think
So what do they tell you to do? Like what? That's what I'm trying to understand.
man, all right, man.
Chores or anything like that? Is it
Nah,
like-
it's not weird. Well, it can get weird. It's just like it's like whatever she desires. Like she'll be like, talk to me like this, say this, do this, and
are you married?
no.
Okay, I see why that you might find that like a fun thing to try on.
Well, I'm not saying do this with somebody you've been with since elementary school. Like that's probably like, all right, bro, whatever.
Yeah.
But like on a one-off when you with somebody and you kind of explore. I think that's what I've recently found out.
Yeah.
Is like exploring your sexuality with somebody else who's exploring their sexuality is fire.
Yeah, but what happens if you find some shit that you don't want to keep doing, but they want to do it?
In the spirit of the session that we've created, I'll do it. But afterwards, I'm like,
Cuckolding? You would watch someone fuck the girl?
I'm not into other dudes being in there. But I mean, I've been a part of, well, you ran a train before.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
that's
not-
just. But the train thing.
I don't
is
know
like,
that I like this
No.
conversation.
The train thing I think is interesting because I think the train thing is more just like the girl. This is gonna sound really feminist. No, no. It's like the girl's kind of like not hot enough for like the solo session, right? Isn't that the real trend? Like,
yeah.
because people make that stupid joke they've been making for years, like, well, 2 5s equal 10. And it's just like, no, that's not what it's the opposite. It's the 5 shared by 2 guys. It's just funny.
Have you ever had a deep sexual conversation with another woman?
What do you mean by that?
So like getting into like her desires and why she desires what she desires, like where it comes from.
Fuck no.
It's a fascinating psychology.
I can imagine that.
And so it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like they like women's what I can't speak for every single woman, but like the experiences that I've had is like they have a specific reason as to why they desire what they desire, and sometimes they haven't explored it. And when you open up that can, then they enjoy that conversation as well. And I
Yeah.
think if you want to be good in bed in general, your goal should be pleasuring your partner. But how you gonna know what they like if you don't actually talk about it? A lot of dudes out here doing shit that they seen, read, or heard, and it's the exact opposite of what your lady likes. I know
Yeah.
some women like it fast, some women like it, so whatever the case may be. And you're just guessing. So I took the guessing. I'm like, what do you like?
Yeah.
And when you do that, you learn about yourself, you learn about them, and it just makes it
you
more
gotta check that
enjoyable.
ego too, man, because
Yeah,
she might
100%.
say the thing that you're doing that you thought you were good at.
That's exactly what I
trash.
don't, because
Yeah.
you're gonna be in the group chat afterwards if if you ain't doing a good job. So I'm
Yeah.
like, we might as well talk about this. Tell me what you like and let me execute.
Yeah.
And tell me in the middle, like, go not like that. I'm like, all right, how I do it?
But I don't want too many adjustments.
I do.
No.
Maybe after the fact.
No.
Like work on this for next time.
Yeah, you gotta. Like,
Not
I'm a
in the heat of the
comedian.
moment.
Like I like the audience being like into it.
Well, she's not gonna be into it if you fucking up. If your jokes ain't landing,
Yeah, but like, you know, she could fake it. I don't know.
that's what I'm
She
saying.
lied to me.
Now, and then now you in a group chat. That's what I'm saying. I eliminate that.
No. I think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a very vulnerable. I think you're right. It's a really vulnerable thing to do because you're getting your masculinity and manhood completely shredded if it's not done right. But at the same time, it is really important. I mean, like,
But nah, I mean,
I don't know. I feel
Well, I don't look at it like that. I don't look at it like she's demasculating.
No, she's not doing that on purpose. But
Demasculating.
sometimes you might react and feel that way.
Yeah, I mean that's happening.
It's just your own
before.
insecurity, not you personally,
Yeah.
but one's own insecurity
Yeah.
could be projected.
Yeah,
like that's,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But then, to me, that was just a learning experience for myself. To me, like, where does that come from? Like, where is that? Why do I feel insecure about this?
Yeah.
It's a very enlightening, and sex is one of the most, I don't know, important topics as humans. Is how we continue to survive. So,
Bro, and even in a relationship, it's like there's this weird thing that happens. Like if my wife and I go too long without having sex, we're more rude to one another.
yeah, man.
Like we're off, we're snappy, and we recognize it. Like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, now it sounds whack to like be like, oh, we have to schedule it. But it's like we understand how important it is to our emotional well-being
Yeah.
to make sure that there is that intimacy, and we have to water that constantly because it does fuck you up.
We had a podcast yesterday with where we talked about the history of Japan, and one of the dudes that works here named Large, he's super sharp cat, and he was talking about how they have this white glove service in Japan, where it's like people who are like a paraplegic, like they'll come and they'll give them hand jobs just to get that out of them, and that's fine to me because that's like it's servicing like a natural part of humanity, which is like you want to be sexual. We're all sexual human beings.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this shit.
But on the other side of that, Japan has the lowest birth rate, I think, the world.
You think those
I think that's a good thing.
the
That's a
paraplegics
sign.
should be
No,
cream pie?
but like
There should be a white cream pie service?
Not just the paraplegics are using that service.
That's a cultural function, I think.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys been to Japan before?
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Okay, so like, it's the least sexual place you'll ever go in your entire life. There is absolutely no romance. There is absolutely no love. It's the most loveless culture I've ever been in my entire life. It is also the best. You will have the best of almost everything that you try there. Meaning, I had the best pizza I've ever had in Japan, the best steak I've ever had in Japan, the best fucking, what do they call the fried stuff? Tempura. You know, like I
They
mean,
got good whiskey there too.
dude, the whiskey, anything they do, they perfect.
Bro,
Bro, because they're so. One guy said it to me. He's like, when you don't have a monotheistic religion, when you see God in everything, you treat everything with the reverence and respect of God. So if there's a God of soup making, you're like, yo, I got to make this soup right. Because there's a God in there that I gotta respect. We got Jesus over here. He don't care about soup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like somebody's auntie is nice at making it. That's it. So the culture is fascinating in some regards, but in terms of interpersonal relationships, like even like the way women dress and behave, they're not sexy. They're cute. It's infantile. Like they're like, hi, how you doing? Look at me. I'm a tiny little girl. It's the most odd thing.
Yeah.
And I can see why that would lead to a society that is not.
a lot of times in
repressed.
Asian cultures, you can attest to this because you spend a lot of time in China, or you know about the Chinese culture. Right?
Yeah, my dad did.
A lot of Asian women are they take a back seat in their familial roles, and so they don't speak up. They're not like, they don't own themselves, own themselves, but they don't like own their role they do own their role, and their role is like you're in the back seat, and that's my experience.
Do you think they feel safer in the back seat because like if they were in the passenger seat they'd fly through the windshield when they inevitably ran into a wall out of nowhere? Do you think that's why?
maybe Tiger should take a back seat.
That's perfect. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on the podcast. This
Yeah.
flew by. This hour's fastest hour.
we have fun, man.
Where
This
can the
is
people
great.
see you? Where are we plugging? You're gonna go on tour
check out
soon, or-
Flagrant. Check out Brilliant Idiots. So I do a podcast with my boy Akash and Mark Gagnon and Alex Media, and that's Flagrant. And then I do a podcast with the great and brilliant Charlamagne the God called Brilliant Idiots.
my
So
dog,
yeah.
He's
Check
got
those
some
out.
wild takes.
Bro, he's the
I love
king, bro.
Charlamagne, yeah.
He's the king, dude. That is, you want hot takes on demand. Like that guy could do stand up one of these days I'm gonna get him on stage.
All right. Well, thank you very much for stopping by, man.
Cheers,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Thank you.
Man, my man.
Thanks.